run up the chimney. Simple as that.
This fun, entertaining series when it mattered most, crunch time. It was the Grizzlies time and time again.
Welcome back to NBA Countdown, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Ja Morant and Desmond Bane have been balling this season. Ja Morant said on NBA Today his goal this year, MVP for sure. What have you seen from him, Jalen?
Stephen A., I want you to look really close when you watch these Ja Morant highlights, because you were in Philly and you got a chance to watch Bubba Chuck up close and personal. And this change of pace and how he puts defenders on their heels reminds me so much of the answer. And by the way, did you know Ja Morant has made more left-handed layups this year than right-handed layups? How about this? Jump stop it to the paint. Float game. Ja Morant is a game changer offensively, shooting 45% from three, is going to catapult himself not only into the MVP conversation, but into the conversation of best players in the game.
I'd like the record to show that although we started off the year and you were raving about Ja Morant, and there's nothing not to rave about because he is spectacular, I brought up Luka Doncic. And while we're talking about Ja Morant, can we remember that Luka Doncic is averaging 33, 8, and 8? On 48% shooting? I mean, can we at least remember that?
If he chose to average 30, he averaged a triple-double.
Well, what about Desmond Bane? What have you seen from him, JJ?
Well, look, I think Desmond Bane has emerged as a true second star for the Memphis Grizzlies, and a lot of his development has been off the bounce. Here he is in transition, getting to a drag screen, uses that step-back dribble to knock down a three. He's shooting 51% on threes off the dribble. That's second best in the NBA. They're running more pick and rolls for him in the half court, and he has responded not only by scoring, but by involving his teammates. He's averaging a career high 4.7 assists. Here he engages the big, hits Brandon Clark on a pocket pass. He's really doing everything now. We think of him as a spot-up shooter and a guy that uses pin downs and screenaways, but he's now evolved his game, and he's the complete package offensively.
He's one of those players that has stepped up his game every single year. So that begs the question, Stephen A., where does this backcourt rank in the NBA?
Wow.
I know.
I don't know. I mean, listen, Bane and Ja Morant, the way that they're playing right now, I'd give them the edge, but I would tell you that I can't summarily dismiss Chris Paul and Devin Booker, okay? Because Devin Booker is a star in this league or whatever. But Ja Morant is something to behold, and Desmond Bane being able to hit those threes the way that he's been in, like you said, off the dribble. I'd have to give them the edge right now.
Even over Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland?
I don't, trust me. I pay attention. I'm trying not to bring up Donovan Mitchell, Malika, because he's supposed to be a Knick, and he's not a New York Knicks. You see what I'm saying?
Well, don't you worry. We'll get into your New York Knicks just a little bit later in the show.
I'm in a good mood. No.
I'm sorry, but right now we'll take a look at Karl Anthony Towns.
Don't sleep on the Boston Celtics backcourt. Smart and Jaylen Brown.
Oh, can't sleep on them.
Down, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Welcome to NBA Countdown. I'm Malika Andrews. We are live from Seaport, brought to you by Patron. Perfection. It starts with Patron. And we're coming off college hoops, guys.
Yeah.
So I do want to show you all a little something. I got a little something to show you here. Before we dig into the NBA, take a look at this blind resume here. It's 3 players, their scoring average in each person's final college season. Do we have any guesses who this might be? Jalen, who do you think? What is this?
Nah, this is hilarious. JJ's on the right.
It's our starting lineup from tonight.
Well, they're not telling us I only played one game because I cracked my kneecap in half, but that's neither here nor there.
That is neither here nor there. Let's get to our opening tip, gentlemen. Tonight, it is the Wild, Wild West. 1 month ago, not many folks would have guessed that the Western Conference, with the standings, would look like this. The Jazz, they lead the way, the first team to 10 wins in the West, followed by the Trailblazers, the Suns. You can see how the rest of the top 10 shakes out. A dozen or so games into the season, the Warriors aren't even in this picture. But Stephen A., it is a team from the Pacific Northwest that has caught your attention.
Yeah, it's the Portland Trailblazers, and I want to give love to the Utah Jazz as well. They're leading the Western Conference, a half game better than the Portland Trailblazers, but I watched the Portland Trailblazers the other night, and what I see, I'm absolutely loving. This kid, Anthony Simons, is something special. He's averaging about 22 a game. Damian Lillard, although he's missed about 5 games this year, his greatness speaks for itself. We know this, okay? But I love what I'm seeing from Jeremy Grant and Josh Hart, because you're getting production from your front court players, which is something something that they have been denied in the past. When you look at C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard back in the day, it was that backcourt. It was pretty much nothing else. You're getting production from your front court players, particularly that small forward spot. And this kid, Shaedon Sharpe, number 7 overall pick, didn't play a college game, although he played at Kentucky, although he attended Kentucky, didn't play a college game. He's averaging 7 points. He's 6'6". He's shooting 44% from 3. He's a skywalker, very, very active. I look at the young brothers on the Portland Trail Blazers. I love what I'm seeing. I love their potential. And Chauncey Billups was a guy I always viewed as a front office guy. He's doing a hell of a job coaching this team.
JJ, what stands out to you from the West here?
Well, I think to add on to Stephen A's point, the Blazers have a plethora of big wings. Nasir Little is another guy. They're 6 defensively. Chauncey Billups has done a great job of building out that defense. They actually play the second most zone in the NBA so far this year. But look, what has stood out is the Utah Jazz.
Hey,
no one had them
waiting for
in
someone to say it.
after 13
What
games.
is happening?
So give Will Hardy a lot of credit here.
Yes.
He lets these guys play with freedom. The ball is free flowing. Night to night, you don't know who's going to star, but they have enough good players to get it done. And shout out to Lauri Markkanen, who looks like an all-star this far in the season.
Plus, how awesome would it be, Jalen, and I know we're still a ways from this, but if Will Hardy gets to coach in the West for an all-star in the home, that would be nice. I'm not saying it'll happen, but that would be nice, Jalen.
That would be nice. And shout out to Lauri Markkanen, as you guys mentioned, the Utah Jazz have a bunch of veteran guys that have played roles. Now they're mastering their roles with the Utah Jazz. But the team I want to talk about is 500 today, Malika. The Pelicans. When they get fully healthy and Herb Jones returns and Zion is healthy and Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, Valanciunas, they have so many young rotation players that they're trying to integrate into what they're doing. They're going to be one of the scariest teams, the deepest teams in the entire NBA, and they're going to catapult themselves into contention status.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but they did lose the other night with Williamson and Ingram on the floor to Portland. And even though I agree with your point about Utah, they deserve a lot of credit. When I think about the Trailblazers, I think about a team that I think what we're seeing from them is something that's sustainable. I don't see Utah sustaining it. I'm not taking anything away from them. But if you're telling me Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clark,
they don't want to sustain it.
And Mike Conley is going to continue to do this, good luck with that.
Want Victor
Good luck with
Wembanyama.
that.
Here's what I would add to the Pelicans. This is what they've got to figure out to me. They've got to figure out the pecking order. And they played all of last season with Zion. They're trying to integrate him into the lineup. Right now, C.J. McCollum leads them in shot attempts. Past Brandon Ingram and Zion.
Good.
And Zion hasn't looked, he hasn't looked as aggressive as he was 2 seasons ago. They've got to figure out the pecking order between those 3 guys.
Let's get to some more action around the NBA because the Celtics, they have won 3 straight at home, and tonight they host the Nuggets. Let's take a look at that game. The first quarter, the Celtics are up by 4 here. Check out Jamal Murray. Driving, can't quite get it to go. Jason Tatum doing what he does all season long.
Keeping Murray healthy is going to be the key for the Denver Nuggets, obviously, if so, because we know we can expect from this guy MVP level of production.
The back-to-back MVP getting it done.
That's an MVP candidate right there.
Still to come on NBA Countdown, we are counting you down to tip-off between the Timberwolves and the Memphis Grizzlies. You can see Anthony Edwards there, averaging 21.3 points per game this season. That's the same average as last year. We're going to get more into what is going on with the Timberwolves later in this show. Plus, Adrian Wojnarowski is standing by. He has news regarding when the Brooklyn Nets may be getting Kyrie Irving back on the court. More NBA Countdown after this.
NBA Countdown is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.